subscribers. Hope you're all well. Thanks for hanging around. Before we get started on this, I just wanted to show you this. I like to talk about other things every now and again. So I don't know if you guys, let me turn off these lights. This will be a bit better. So this is a bit of a special photo for us. I don't know if you recognise this lady. This is Jayne Mansfield. Yeah, so why do we have a photo of Jayne Mansfield? Well, that's my mother-in-law, my wife Debs. That's her mum, who sadly passed away in January unexpectedly. So I'm not sure how old she is here. I guess this is 50s, early 60s maybe. But yeah, so that's my mum-in-law, and my grandfather-in-law, so her dad, my wife's grandfather, and Jayne Mansfield. So this must have been in England. So this is a pretty special photo. I had framed and stuck up in our media room. Yeah, Jayne Mansfield. Anyway, so back to this. Thanks to a few guys, well, a few people, sorry. Zero Tolerance, Vasily, and Dadnoy Kilovota, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, who pointed out, dude, where's all your decoupling capacitors? And I'm quite embarrassed to say, yeah, I didn't even realise. There's plenty over here. Normally, like because these are the really good capacitors. They've got silver or palladium in, so sometimes you'll see that they've all been snipped, so there'll be no capacitors at all. Luckily, this one, a scrapper didn't get their hands on it. So, yeah, but you don't even see the legs standing up from where they would have been. So they weren't even connected or added. So, and why are decoupling capacitors so important? Well, basically, especially with digital electronics, I guess, with the switching, switching on, suddenly you need to draw power. And by having a decoupling capacitor, so they're called decoupling capacitors because it decouples the chip from the power supply. If you don't have it, then the chip is reliant on drawing power from the power rails along with everything else when it's required. So by having decoupling capacitors across the power rails, it adds like a little local power supply or local power reservoir to every chip. And yeah, basically, there might be some down here. So capacitors in parallel add. So there might be some here, and yeah, but generally it's nice to have them. Well, in the West, we stick them everywhere, don't we? I guess these would have been quite pricey, considering they contain silver and palladium. So they would have been, judicious, sparing with their use. So, but I've got the Nafanya here, so I need to get back to this. So this is a replacement keyboard, thanks to PCBWay, that I designed for the Nafanya, and it fits perfectly, but I've got issues with the Nafanya at the moment. But you can see here that I've added decoupling capacitors to the RAM and basically everything else, and it made a massive difference. It was pretty flaky before, but then when I added in all these decoupling capacitors, it was rock solid. Apart from when I removed the ROM to dump it, now it's has issues. We'll get back to that. So I'm going to let it warm up, and then I'll try and capture some video. So now that we've got video output, I'm going to try and capture it, so we get a better display. And then I'll go in and add decoupling capacitors everywhere, and see if that helps. Dadnoy Kilovota also suggested looking at the electrolytics in the power supply as well. So I might look at that too. So yeah, let's do that one first. But let me warm it up and see what it's like at the moment with the HDMI capture. Bavarish, comrades. So I added, yeah, so I've just added decoupling to the, this was the, I think this is the XOR gate, where the, oh no, this is the inverter, I think. This is the inverter, where the combined horizontal vertical retrace and also the character data was sent through before it went to the transistor and then to the video output and also the CRT controller. And yeah, you can see the difference. So I've also now added to the DMA controller 8257 and to the CPU the 8080 itself as well. So yeah, character ROM, I didn't think so. I noticed that there's actually a 68 nanofarad, which is pretty standard for them. For Soviet times, that's what they came in, I guess. So we've got one there for the character ROM and the shift register across the 5 volts, so I didn't worry with them. So it was just that one there. Yeah, so greatly improved. What's next? I would like to tidy up what's on the back, but I don't know. I don't know what any of that's for. I noticed this wire here. It's because there's a break in the track there for some reason, and so they've run this wire. So I might try and replace that wire, but otherwise it's the key switches. So I might continue pulling all these out and replacing them, because I'm going to work on new keycaps, which I'll show you in a minute. Well, so how am I going to solve the keycap issue? Well, so to my naked eye, these were identical. So this is the original keycap, and you can see here that's how it's constructed. So we've got this central pole down the middle, which goes into there. We've got a spring, and yeah, that's basically how it works. Yeah, but oh, okay, yeah, I see. So this is because this is a function key. You can actually see the 2 plastic nibs there, and the function keys are actually horizontal. So that's why it goes down like that, and then those 2 plastic nibs there push down the 2 thingamajigs. But yeah, but the issue is that the modern keycaps today are 18mm at the base, and we allow 19.5. The problem is these key switches are 18mm center to center. That's the only way I could get it to fit the original one, and that's because if you measure these keycaps, they're actually 17mm square, which doesn't sound like much, 17mm versus 18mm, but obviously when you've got them side by side, that's an extra 2mm, and that's why they wouldn't fit. So what to do? Well, I need, you can't get JCUKEN layout, Muskin layout these days anyway. For Cyrillic, Russian, Belarus, you know, those languages, they've switched to QWERTY layout rather than JCUKEN. So you can't buy them. So I'd have to try and get them made myself anyway. So I'm looking at maybe finally using OpenSCAD, finally doing some 3D. I've been meaning to do that on the channel because there's lots of things I want to do. Same with KiCad, there's lots of PCBs I wanted to design, so I just made the plunge and figured it out. So I need to do the same with OpenSCAD, OpenSCAD, however you pronounce it. So there is the Key V2 library, Key version 2 library that basically should make it simple to design your own keycaps. The problem is, it's again assuming that everyone in the world is using 19.05, not Soviet era. So I need to figure out how to. I know there is a setting in there where it's 19.05 is defined. Maybe I need to change that to say 18. But yeah, I haven't had any luck. So this is basically what the keycap looks like. So it's, like I said, it's 17mm squared, and I guess it's not a cylinder. What do they call this thing? Basically it's the cutout. So it's spherical. So it's spherical, 18mm square. Yeah. So that's what I need to figure out. So I'm going to replace the rest of these. Well, even if I don't put keycaps on them, as long as I replace them, then I can actually start typing stuff. We can try loading software on it. whilst I try and figure out how to design custom keycaps and get them 3D printed. So that's the next plan. So that's going to take a while, I think. I might be back sooner when all these are replaced, so we can try loading software, because that's always one thing we try to do, is load software. But then the custom keycaps is going to be a longer term thing. We'll need to figure out how to do it. So yeah, there we go. So thank you guys. Really, that's obviously made a big difference. And I think when I booted it this morning, it booted first time. So I wonder if this little fellow here was causing some sort of issue, because I put some Krapton tape on, and I should really fix it. I'm just scared to touch any of this because I don't know why it's there. So we've got this huge big, I would like to replace this as well. I guess what I need to do is buzz it out. I guess maybe, I don't know, is it just ground, taking ground over to here or something? You know, I can replace this with some sort of modern wiring. I can fix up, you know, things like this. But I just don't know what any of it's for. This is the expansion port here, which I think a disk interface is for. So why we're taking signals for that, I don't know. Two big inductors. So that's the power supply there. So they've done a lot of work on the power supply, as you can see there, futzing around with it. Anyway, there we go. Enough yapping. Loistavaa. Okay, bye for now.